To discuss the current situation in the Middle East and the hostilities that are only escalating between Iran and Israel, I have with me senior journalist and columnist Ashutosh, who has written a piece on Free Press Journal as well on the motives of Netanyahu, where he writes with the heading "A war based on ideology aims for annihilation, not mediation." Welcome to Free Press Journal, Ashutosh. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's then begin. There's clearly two points of view here. I read your article, and you seem to be suggesting that Trump was very much cued in with all of this, knew what was going on right from the first blow. There's a lot of media reporting the fact that now somewhere Netanyahu is unhinged and Trump is sort of losing control and he's going ahead even without sort of the American consent. What makes you believe that all this while Netanyahu has the US backing and he would not take a step without that?
Thank you, Frida. First of all, let's understand this, that Israel itself is not so powerful that it can attack Iran, because Iran is not like Hamas or Gaza. Whatever Hamas has done is condemnable and it should be condemned. It's a terrorist act. But the fact is, Iran is a much bigger country. Iran is a much stable country. Iran is one of the powerhouse in Middle East. And if Israel has found time to attack Iran, so Israel cannot do on its own. And though America has not extended any support till now, but every statement made by American administration or by Donald Trump, the president, it hints and it clearly indicates that Israel has 100% backing of America. And Donald Trump, in fact, has said that Israel, before attacking Iran, has informed him. And in fact, it is Trump who tried to persuade Netanyahu not to go for killing of the supreme leader of Iran, that is Ayatollah Khamenei. So that clearly indicates, and let's understand this: Israel on its own cannot survive in the Middle East without all kinds of support from the America. All kinds of support means not only the moral support, but also the kind of financial support, the technological support, the armament support, and everything.
Yeah, but now Netanyahu says, "I'm not going to stop till Ayatollah Khamenei is eliminated." And you are saying that direction from Trump is that don't go for the kill, thus far and no further. But Mr. Netanyahu seems to be, giving a very different rhetoric right now.
See, let's understand this. The rhetorics from both the sides. Like today, Iran and Israel both are at war with each other. So more than war fought on the skies or on the land, the war is also fought at psychological level. It's basically a psychological warfare. Trump, you remember what the Trump has said, that if Iran doesn't do a deal on nuclear arsenals, then Iran will forget that it ever was an empire. So why these statements are being made? And even the Khamenei has made a very strong statement today only. So let's not get into the rhetorics of it, because the war is all about rhetorics. Other than the war fought with weapons and weapons of mass destruction, the fact of the matter is that Israel has 100% backing of America.
Yeah, but what is in it for America? What is in it for US? Because for Israel, it has stated it a number of times, it's an existential threat. If they have weakened the Hamas and the Houthis and the Hezbollahs, they are not going to lose this opportunity or this opportune moment now to go after Iran. That seems to be Iran's point of view. But what is the United States point of view, or stakes in it rather? What do they have to say?
See, it's a matter of great investigation and inquiry by different school of thoughts. But in my opinion, because America has not forgiven Iran, you remember in 1979 when the Iranian Revolution took place, and Ayatollah Khamenei, in leadership, Ayatollah Khamenei. Before 1979, Iran was basically a satellite state of America. And Raza Pahlavi was there; he was a king. And despite American intervention, despite American support, the revolution happened in 1979, and the Raza Pahlavi had to leave the country. America has not forgotten till then. And since that revolution in 1979, Iran has been calling America the Great Satan, that is the evil empire. So
Mm.
it's a battle between these two countries. Obviously, it's a very unequal battle because Iran cannot match America in terms of resources, in terms of technology, in terms of manpower, and also in terms of weaponry. But
Yeah. So
it's an
you don't
ideological battle
believe, yeah, yeah.
because Iran is totally anti-American force in Middle East, and
Mm.
Iran also believe that American forces are out there to finish Islam from the Middle East. That's one of the bottom lines, and that's why this. That's why the American interest is all about there. But
Mm.
let's not forget it. America has cultivated Israel in the Middle East, and
Mm.
Israel is basically fighting American war over there. Israel has
Mm.
created so much of pressure in the Middle East countries, and has also working as a balance of as a force to balance Iran and other Middle East countries.
I wanted to ask you that there are a lot of international media reporting the fact that just when Trump was in the middle of talks with Iran, trying to convince them to sign up to certain nuclear commitments, or rather, agree to US monitoring of their nuclear arsenal, just when they were in the middle of it, Israel sort of derailed Trump's plans. That's also a point of view which we are reading now, that it is not as if they were on cue. They acted not at the behest of US, but they acted at a time when it was not required, only because they felt that they cannot lose this opportunity after weakening Hamas and Houthis and the Hezbollahs. So that's what I was trying to get at.
See, Afrida, we have to understand this, that Israel has launched attack the very next day when the
Hmm.
International Atomic Energy Agency has
Hmm.
come to the conclusion that Iran is not cooperating, and the
Yeah,
sixth talk between the US and Iran was to happen, and then
yeah.
that talk did not happen. So on a very next day, Israel attacks on Iran.
Hmm.
So this could be understood from the two point of view. One point of view is that Israel has been planning for a very, very long time, because such attacks cannot happen in 24 hours. It needs a lot of
Hmm. Hmm.
lot of intelligence gathering, for years of intelligence gathering, because the pinpointed, the precise attack which happened, and they killed almost nine, three, four of the generals, and then the nuclear scientists.
Nuclear
That means they
scientist,
had an
yeah.
accurate point blank information about their whereabouts, and they killed them. So it cannot be planned in a day or two. Second point is, I think this is again an American way of working through Israel to put pressure on Iran, so that Iran should not become a nuclear power state. Because all through, if you remember, Trump's statement has been saying that you have no other option than to make a deal with us, and that you have to declare that you will not go for the nuclear armaments. So if you connect these two things, then it becomes very clear that the
Okay.
Americans are behind. And I'm very, very clear about it. I'm 100% sure Israel
Hmm. Hmm.
do not have the firepower and the technology and other things if it is not backed by USA. Without USA backing, Israel cannot go rogue. And look,
Hmm.
even after the Gaza attack, there is so much hue and cry across the world. But anybody who's raising a finger in America on the Israel policies, or questions Israel, the
Hmm.
people in the universities are being uh, uh, are being told to leave the campuses. Arrest is happening, and all kinds of things are happening when the universities are being subjected for such kind of humiliation, which I never heard of there. So if America has not been backing Israel so powerfully, why this is happening in the American campuses, with the students, with the faculty members, with the vice chancellor, with the professors and the teachers? So
Yeah.
there is no, it's undeniable that
Hmm.
Israel is USA is backing Israel. This is undeniable,
But
completely
what do you
undeniable.
see happening? Yeah, what do you see happening now? Because again, I understand you're wanting us not to go so much with the rhetoric, but there's a proclamation that now Ayatollah Khamenei has to go. This Iranian regime has to go, and we will not stop short of anything less than that. It almost seems like the next target is Mr. Khamenei himself. Should that happen, what do you foresee?
See, Afrida, we have to understand this. Since 1979, when the Islamic Revolution happened in Iran, since then, America has been trying for a regime change. America has been
Hmm.
trying to kill revolution over there. And
Hmm.
America has tried many times but never succeeded. So if that rhetorics is still continuing, I'm not surprised. I'm not really worried. We have to understand this, because one of the Israeli minister has said that look what happened with Saddam Hussein, and Iranian leadership should also remember that one day the time will come when, like Saddam Hussein, the Khamenei will be caught and will be hanged, something like this. But that's where the problem is. Because if it has been so easy, Americans could have easily gone in Iraq and had done the regime change. Iran is a very it's a very old civilization. First of all, secondly, it's a very well entrenched revolution in Iran, and there's a very well structured institution in Iran. So it's not easy. Whereas the Iraq during the time of Saddam Hussein was one man rule, and there was hardly any structures over there. There's only the personal loyalties to the Saddam Hussein. So when the American attacked, and when American attacked, then obviously Saddam Hussein was totally clueless and he had no idea what happened over there. But Iraq is not Iran, and Ayatollah Khamenei is not Saddam Hussein. It's a very well structured, very mature state, and it is very instanced into the Iranian society. So in comparison to American power, yes, Iran is not as powerful. But to imagine that something what happened to Saddam Hussein will happen to Khamenei, I'm not going to.
Yeah, but if you look at the pattern again, it's the same thing, isn't it? I mean, there were weapons of mass destruction, which was supposed to be the justification, and now again, it's these nuclear arsenals that Netanyahu is claiming to be targeting, and that is what he says poses a threat, and that is what he's saying I'm after, to demolish every single nuclear arsenal and nuclear site that exists in Iran. I mean, if you really think about it, that is what was said about the weapons of mass destruction as well. And look what that did. Look what happened after that.
So, and Afrida, you know very well that the WMD, the weapon of mass destruction, was a lie, and Americans were caught red-handed.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Even by their own men. That was an alibi, because the American wanted to teach Iraq, because they suspected and they doubted that the 9/11 which happened in America, Saddam Hussein might have supported them. So they basically wanted to teach not only to the Saddam Hussein, but also to the radical Muslims that look what happens when you take a panga with the Americans. That's point number one.
But there are stakes for countries like Russia and China as well here, isn't it? Do you see Israel succeeding in this mission where they claim they want to dominate the Middle East? They want to cleanse the Middle East and be a regional superpower, so to speak. Do you see them succeeding in this mission, given that there's a Russia and China lurking as well, who may not be entirely comfortable with this situation?
So if China decides to support Iran, then the game gets very complicated, because China is extremely powerful and can match Americans in terms of technology, in terms of weaponry, in terms of resources and everything. Then it's an even battle, like Israel and American on the one side and the China and Iran on the other side. And don't forget what the Chinese has said in the UN Security Council meet. The Chinese said that Israel has crossed all red lines. It's a very strong and very important statement made by China, that Chinese has been trying to send, that means China tried to send a message across not only to Israelis but also to the Americans. Now the fact is, whether Chinese wants to really get into this conflict, that's something which Chinese has to decide. But if China decide to disown Iran, because China for the last 10-12 years have tried to outreach and try to get their allies into the Middle East. Iran is one of them, and even in fact the Chinese had gone had tried to get some kind of relations with Israel also, with with Saudi Arabia, with UAE. So it gets very complicated. Like Russia cannot afford to get into this war for the simple reason, because Russia is already busy with the Ukraine. So Russia is already very depleted, and now to open another theater of war is next to impossible for the Russia. But if Chinese decide to intervene, so it will be, then the war gets very complicated and very complex. My sense is, I think within some few days, the Chinese and Americans will try to find a solution to the problem, and Iran and Israel will reach to some kind of understanding. The only thing is, what will be the face saving? Because this is the typical that Trump style. You raise your
Yeah.
voice to such a level that you put other person in the pressure, and then the negotiation starts, and then you reach to the point and where you say, okay, let's do it. So and let's also
How
understand
will
that
they
Israel,
retreat from this? That's what you're saying.
yeah, yeah,
Retreating from this sort of a position will be difficult
because
for
both is
Israel.
both Israel and Iran both need a face saving. See, let's
Face saving.
understand this. Israel on its own uh, cannot damage nuclear arsenals of Iran, because it's they need the technology is not with Israel. That technology is only with Americans, and those the bunker busting bombs, etc., which penetrates inside in, under under the earth, goes under the earth. So that kind of technology is not with Israel. So Israel cannot damage beyond a point the Iranian nuclear uh, nuclear arsenals. That can only be damaged if American gives that kind of technology to the Israelis. Till now, Americans have not given that technology to Israel. So it's basically both the sides, Israel and Iran, both are trying for a trying are trying to psych out other. The
Yeah,
Israelis
that's why
also
you
want to
called it
psych
a
out Iranians.
psychological
Iranians also
warfare.
want to psych out Israelis.
Yeah.
So my sense is, I don't think American wants this war to prolong for a very long time, because that's not America wants at the moment. Even the Trump, before contesting election, has openly said that enough of war, and this is the time when America should consolidate, because America is already depleting in some resources in terms of everything. And why America should be fighting others war? And there is already a pressure in America that why Trump is getting involved in these kind of things. He should focus on economy of America, and if that pressure continues, then my sense is that it will not go beyond a week or so.
Damage has been inflicted on Iran, very serious consequences faced in terms of what you also said. One of their top nuclear scientists also killed, along with the other military commanders. I take your point that this can only go as far as the Trump administration can allow, and also the bluff and the bluster that Netanyahu often resorts to. He would need a face saving now, as you call it. Thanks very much, Ashutosh, for joining us. Appreciate your giving us time today. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Afrida. Thank you.